So I kind of go with the way D. Scott Miller looks at it in relation to Afro-Surrealism, but we kind of look at it in the context as under the umbrella of Black speculative thought and practice. My name is Reynaldo Anderson. I'm an associate professor of Africology and African American Studies here at Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm definitely looking at what is it trying to say politically. Where is the agency of Black people in the art? And second, what is the political statement? So those are the two things I look at in an Afro-Surrealistic piece of art. When it's time for the satire, political stuff, or something around that kind of bent, yeah, that's where I think the surrealist piece can come in terms of way out there thought. The surrealists are always good for that. They're probably the best outside the box thinkers when it comes to speculative thought. You really got to understand what you're doing with Afro-Surrealism to make it good in terms of what it is you're trying to say, because the Afro-Surrealists tend to be a little bit more politically sophisticated. There was a movie that came out a few years ago, and it dealt with these Black telemarketers.
Hello, sorry to bother you.
Sorry to Bother You, where it talks about this young Black person that's navigating this precarious economic experience, and I think it's on the West Coast, and he's trying to earn a living, have a life. That, to me, was one of the best examples of Afro-Surrealistic behavior I've seen in the last decade, visually represented, because it had the cultural piece in there, it had the economic part in there in terms of how do you survive this moment, make a life, and it had that kind of experience with Danny Glover's, the older character in the film, showing the younger man how you got to put your false face on to make a sale. And so it goes back into where Afro-Surrealism will borrow something from the Black past, like Paul Laurence Dunbar's We Wear the Mask. It brings that out playfully as Danny Glover's character in the film shows. You better wear this mask, get the sale, get your money, and get gone, you know, in terms of the moment. And it kind of points out that tension between your true self versus another self that you got to present in order to make a living. And that's what I really like about that film. Afro-Surrealism and Afro-pessimism help keep Afro-futurism accountable. You know, so it just doesn't become unrealistic nonsense that's not tethered to the Black experience. Afro-Surrealism is tethered to the Black experience all the time, where some people who claim to be Afro-futurists might come out with some abstract nonsense or whatever that's not tethered to the Black experience. And that's where the whole debate comes in, whereas Afro-Surrealism is definitely always tethered to the Black experience. So whether it's Afro-futurist feminism, Afro-futurism, ethno-Gothic, Afro-Surrealism, people are coming at it from different directions based upon their own ideological and cultural location. It's asserting the agency of people of African descent.
Sleepyhead, says the Sandman, go to bed. The desert in your head.